Welcome to Las Vegas, Mr. Hausman, and go Raiders!
Yeah, that's so awesome. You're getting a football team. Hey, what's this $99 stadium charge? Why do I have to supplement a football stadium for owners making billions of dollars a year?
Yeah, sorry about that. But on the upside, I hear the owners' skyboxes are gonna be awesome.
Do you live, eat, and sleep the hotel industry? Looking to brush up on your game? You've come to the right place. Welcome to No Vacancy, the hospitality industry's #1 podcast, with your host, Glenn Hausman.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show, No Vacancy, with me, Glenn Hausman. I'm absolutely thrilled, once again, to have you here with me. Man, I'm having such a great time doing the show each and every single week. I hope you've been catching some of these great shows that we've had. If you haven't had a chance to listen to the show, we're featuring Anthony Melchiori from the Travel Channel. Be sure to do that right away. Also, if you didn't hear last week's show with Raul Layal, the CEO of Virgin Hotels, I'd love for you to check that as well. And check out my stuff in hotel management, where I serve as editor-at-large. Okay, so I'm here. I'm in Los Angeles. And what does that mean? I'm at a conference, and if I'm at a conference, I'm with the one and only Bruce Ford, SVP Logic Econometrics.
Glenn, happy days are here again. The Patriots have gone to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, congratulations on that. I am
You can say it like you mean it, okay?
All right, I'll say it like I mean it. Yay!
Yay, sports team!
Go! I'm like Fonzie trying to apologize. Go!
And half the hotel industry is also interested because the city of Atlanta, the Falcons, are going for the first time since 1998. How nice!
That's very exciting, and I'm such a strong football fan. I had no idea about that fact right there.
Well, the bandwagon is available. There's still a couple seats left.
You know what? I'm going to stick with my my hopeless dreams that the Jets are going to win an occasional game.
Jets, Jets.
But the fact is, we're here in Los Angeles, and we're attending the ALIS conference. It's the American Lodging Investment Summit, for those of you out there that are not the hotel wonks that us guys are. And one of the highlights of the event, besides all the great networking and the going and schmoozing with people, and I guess that's also networking, is the deal of the year, Bruce. And this is something that you guys are totally into. This is your bread and butter. You love talking about deals. You love talking about projects. You love seeing those hotels that shine above the rest. It's kind of like the hotel Oscars, isn't it?
It sure is. And we just actually gave out the award. We do two. Lodging Econometrics chairs the committee. My brother J.P. Ford and myself are on the committee, several other committee members. And we just gave out the full service Development Project of the Year in 2016 was, in fact, the new...
I feel like I should have some sort of effect or drum roll or something like that.
Yeah. Cue the music. The Marriott Marquis in Houston, Texas, host hotel for the Super Bowl that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So congratulations to them. And the Select Service Hotel Development of the Year for 2016 was the Courtyard by Marriott World Trade Center in New York, and which is quite a great hotel.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I haven't been to either of these hotels.
Yeah.
So let's start with the full service hotel. You said JW Marriott?
Marriott Marquis.
Right. Marriott Marquis. Sorry, we're at a JW Marriott
Correct.
This week for the ALIS conference. So I got a little confused.
The Marriott Marquis, 1,000-room hotel. Probably the biggest thing that's been built in Houston since the opening of, I think they did a very big Hilton when they opened the stadium there a couple of years ago.
I've stayed at that particular Hilton.
Yep.
They got a nice pool up on the up at the top of the building.
They do indeed. So that project, LEED certified, really quite a good hotel project, and the Select Service project, the Courtyard in New York, was really just, I think, innovative architecture. It sits right in the near the museum and right near all of the new monuments that they've built down in World Trade, and it's quite a nice building.
How much is it the project itself or the aura around the project that gets something going like that?
Well, we're really looking at a number of different things, but I think LEED certification, I think responsible energy consumption, I think innovative design, I think, obviously bigger is not always better, but certainly those 1,000-room hotels with lots of meeting space, they're unique and they stand out. But there was a couple other hotels that were nominated. One of them was the new conference center at UCLA. that was nominated, and we had a full-service Hilton in Cleveland that was also nominated. We had 21 full-service nominations submitted this year and 14 select service nominations, and really running the gamut of different types of properties, different types of locations, some resorts. So it's an awesome process, and it actually took me probably almost 5 hours to read all of the information before I could actually vote.
Really?
Because you have to measure on 12 different things. So it's quite a process, and I enjoy participating.
How many people take part in deciding the deal?
There's 7 panel members. Raj Shanjandi from WHAG, Michael Fishbin from Ernst & Young, Bruce Balton from PKF, and JP and myself, Warren Marr from PwC. So it's a good committee and really.
So what you're really telling me, Bruce, is you're just hotel industry royalty.
Well, some would say, but Glenn, I don't mean to brag.
It's all right. I will do it for you.
Okay.
Bruce.
Sounds lovely. But so the awards was just given out today, so you're getting a sneak peek today being Tuesday of the ALIS conference here. Getting ahead of myself here. Get out in California time. You can't tell anymore.
Right.
But exciting stuff. But congratulations to Marriott for clean sweep. They won both, so that's excellent. And so at this point, the other thing that we're talking a little bit about today, Glenn, is the forecast from Lodging Econometrics for 2016.
That's right. We are. And before we go on to that, I want to say the one thing I love about having you on the show is I don't have to do any of the heavy lifting. I almost kind of feel like I just have to sit here and watch you, and it's really nice, quiet break.
Do you need a hot towel while you relax over in the corner?
Right.
And I just do the talking?
Yeah, no, I love it.
So Lodging Econometrics put out a forecast, and we actually we're almost dead on. A lot of people ask me, how good is your forecast?
Well, that's the thing, because you look at all of these groups that put out different forecasts for different metrics within our business.
Yeah.
And one of the things I notice is they always seem to get it right on, but then you look back what they said 3 months ago, and what they said 3 months before that, and what they said 3 months before that.
And
I find an ever-evolving, changing pattern, of what the predictions are going to be that makes it seem like what's the point of even trying to predict?
Well, it can be challenging. I mean, I don't know that a lot of people thought, we'd be looking at 20,000 on the stock market. I'm not sure a lot of people thought that we'd still be standing here in January and be talking about positive RevPAR growth for the next couple of years. But we forecasted new hotel supply in 2016 to be at 96,000 rooms, and we hit it within 500 rooms.
Wow,
so
that's pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing. So we're moving it up to 118,000 next year. So it'll be the first year over 2.1% supply growth since 2008.
And that's going to be more than the demand that's expected growth.
Probably. The future demand is a challenging thing to forecast, but it's been running at about 2.3 or 2.4 on the long-term average. Is a little bit higher in the last 2 years as a result of, we have improved operating performance out there in the industry. There's really only 3 of the top 25 markets that are actually in negative RevPAR territory right now. So 22 of the 25
Miami,
are good.
Houston, and New York?
Correct. Very good, Glenn.
Thank you.
You get a gold star. Which one has the highest impact on negative RevPAR right now is actually Houston.
I was going to say Houston. And as you've taught me, that pipeline is really big.
Yeah. Really big. They have 80 hotels under construction in Houston.
Bruce, I ran into a guy today, right, who develops hotels in Houston, and he thinks he's smarter than the folks, and he very well may be. I'm not trying to make a comment about his strategy, but what we did agree on is all these people that just come in to build a hotel for a special event. And he's saying 7 new hotels are all coming up in conjunction with the Super Bowl. And this is something I've been saying for years. And what happens the week after? The first business trip I ever went on in this industry was to the Olympics in 1996 for a brand new hotel or a hotel brand. I can't really recall what that was. But we go to the hotel, and the first thing that struck me, being in the business all of 2-3 months, was, why the hell do they need all these hotels? All of these people stay, then we're going to go away in 2 weeks. And you spent millions of dollars to sell out your hotel for 2 weeks.
Billions of dollars.
So, it's such a strange phenomenon that I see that people are like, I'm going to go to this demand generator that's a blip and nothing that you could get a loan on.
Well, when you build hotels, you do have to work on speculation. And in many cases, when they build these hotels for these special events, the theory is that that's the capstone. Everybody will say, well, they held the Super Bowl and they managed it at that hotel, so we should have a conference there too. So it's almost like the calling card for the hotel now.
Right.
Is we have the experience, we can help you with your meeting needs. And certainly it's a challenge. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people about meeting business since we've been here at the conference, because that's one of the topics that people are concerned about is the group business and whether that demand is going to be strong. And I think, I go look back on some trends that I've seen. Obviously select service development in a downtown location has impacted group business. Mm-hmm. There's no question.
Right.
You have the big full-service hotel here, using LA Live as an example, but there's any number of 7 or 8 select service hotels that are within a mile of this hotel that you could easily stay at instead of the big convention center full-service hotel. And that's, keeping control of the room blocks is one of the big challenges in the meeting business today.
Yeah, because it's almost like, why should I stay at this hotel if I could stay at XYZ hotels within a couple of blocks?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if it's cheaper, you might go out for a nicer dinner, or you're just trying to, pinch some pennies on travel, because travel doesn't get any cheaper. Even though we do it more frequently, Glenn, it doesn't get any cheaper.
No, that's right.
Yeah, and so, the dollars that you have, where they're allocated today, you're probably putting more into hotels than you ever have.
I'm going to be really interested to see how much a room costs next year here in LA when we're here for ALIS than it does for this year. Because this year, it's pretty darn expensive, but there are construction cranes absolutely everywhere and a ton of new hotel projects just about to open. In fact, I got to see 2 of them under construction this week. I got a tour of the amazing new 900-room Intercontinental, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's the tallest building west of the Mississippi. And, Bruce, it even won Guinness Book of World's Record recognition for the world's longest continuous concrete pour when they did the foundation.
Interesting. Yeah, we have a few friends that are working on that one.
Dude, it's pretty awesome. It's the lobby on the 70th floor. They're feeling like we're in Shanghai now, right?
Yeah, right.
An amazing bar rooftop that I got to see in unusually rainy weather, so that was a real hoot. And then I got a hard hat tour also of the Hotel Indigo that's going to be coming into town.
Now they're saying that that's the biggest Indigo that they have. 350 rooms, right?
I think it's 350
Yeah, 20,000 something square feet of meeting space.
22,000, right.
Untraditional in the Indigo model, or non-traditional, if you will. But IHG is really excited about those hotels, and hopefully we're going to have some nominations for them for the development of the year. 2017.
Well, they should be excited about that, and I will say I think they're excited because the CEO, Eli Malouf, came on the tour with me and some other folks as well. And if you want to learn more about what's going on at IHG, I suggest you check out the conversation I had with him on the No Vacancy podcast. Check the catalog. I want to say I launched it in November, so that
I think right before Thanksgiving. Right?
Yeah, so go check out that show. All right, so amazing construction going down here, but what we're really here for, Bruce, is this ALIS conference, and this is a conference for all the hotel industry, financial, glitterati, all the top people from the brands. You get to mix and mingle. I spoke with CEOs of some of the major hotel companies while I've been here, so it's really the center of the entire hotel universe for a couple of days. And it's curious. It's always sets the bellwether. It's the bellwether, the tone setter of the year. I've got some opinions on it. How did you think it is?
Well, I've been impressed with the foreign investment that's coming to the event now. I think I was just at an event where the CEO of Generator Hotels is talking about his new project in the United States. They've never opened a hotel here. I think we met a gentleman who's bringing $1 billion of Asian investment to the United States to buy hotels. I think the U.S. hotel market has a lot of people interested because, again, we're on unprecedented growth time, and I think it's just muted is kind of the word that I think I've heard a lot of people say. It's not really a big negative RevPAR forecast. It's not really a big positive. It's just kind of there, like 2%, maybe 3%.
Right.
And
that means revenue
there's nothing
per
wrong
available
with that
room.
Because it's 3% above the last record. So,
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Well,
it's still good.
That's one of the things, and we've probably talked about this together on the show before, that you hear 2 and 3%, and people get angry about that, but you fail to add up all the percents from like the last 5 or 10 years, and how that 2 or 3% is 8 years ago, 10, 12%, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the industry is very, very healthy, and one of the most healthy commercial real estate industries out there in the United States today. No question about it. We continue to have new brands. We continue to have more money pouring in that's interested in hotels, and we, of course, had another new brand with Tapestry from Hilton, which is another, I guess, a soft brand. We're not going to call it a collection brand.
Yes.
Right?
But well, you know what? I think that the people that they paid, the marketing groups and the focus service groups, I think they did a good job on that. I like collection. It sounds better than soft brand. It's also connotes a much better meaning to the consumer.
Yeah, that's true. And, the unique thing about collections is they really want the city to speak through the hotel.
That's right. That's what collection says to me. It's a lot of very different assets. And we're in a time now where you need to be very of the place.
Yeah. Well, back when my dad was working in the hotel business 50 years ago, you could go to a lot of different cities, and that city had a famous hotel. When you went to Louisville, you stayed at the Galt House or the Seelbach. When you went to New York, it was the Waldorf. When you went to Los Angeles, it was the Beverly Hilton.
Yep.
It was like every city had its landmark hotel. And I think, today that landmark hotel is likely to be part of one of these collections. Okay, and it's just kind of a different way to bring that unique hotel into the marketplace through a Hilton or Marriott or Starwood reservation system, if you will.
Right. Yeah. The Tapestry brand, for those of you following, is like equivalent to a DoubleTree, I am told.
Yes. They're looking to make it 3 to 3.5 star, more what we'll call, upper upscale, but it's trending more towards upper upscale and then upscale. So I think Tapestry had 35 deals they announced,
that's what I'd heard.
To that effect. And it's going to be mostly conversion. Okay, which obviously can help you.
Hence the DoubleTree example.
Yeah.
Yep.
It can also, you can grow the brand a lot quicker when you go with conversion. But I think, there's a number of other exciting things. I think what, our good friend Jim Alderman at ESA is doing some interesting things over there. Extended Stay America. Yeah, they're going to start franchising the Extended Stay America brand, which has never been available to do that before. So they have some hotels that they'd love you to buy and take back a 10-year franchise agreement, and then they're going to go about building a number more hotels. So he's got a big challenge in front of him. Of course, and the merger of Red Lion and Vantage is also something that a lot of people are talking about and how that is coming together in the realignment of those brands. So it's an exciting time in the industry. Really a big growth cycle still going on.
Right. So I'm thinking Wyndham's going to buy somebody.
You are? You're thinking? Yeah. Well, we haven't had one of those big announcements. Miraval and Hyatt getting together, that's a few $100 million. But, we don't have any billion-dollar transactions on the books. And I would think that's coming sooner or later, right? And, of course, we had the Hilton Spinoff already occurred this year, so there's now 3 Hilton companies. There's still Hilton Worldwide, which is franchise and management. There's Park Hotels and Resorts, which is a real estate investment trust, and then Hilton Grand Vacations, now all 3 separately publicly traded companies.
Right. So let's break that down for people that don't quite understand what all of this means.
Yeah.
Hilton Worldwide was one giant company that had regular hotels that they franchised, such as a Hilton Garden Inn or an Embassy Suites, right?
Yep.
Then they had the real estate that they owned for some of the properties that they happened to also have, right?
Well, it was a public company that Blackstone purchased and then took private, and then reshuffled everything and then went back public again.
So they had
now
properties,
that public entity is 3 entities.
And then, of course, there's a timeshare division. So
that's right.
In order for the stock to better perform, they spun it off into 3 distinct groups, each one now kind of attached, but not really.
Now, if we were doing a podcast back in 2008, there were plenty of people that said Blackstone is not going to make 5 cents on that Hilton acquisition.
No, they didn't. They made 5 kajillion cents.
Yeah, 5 kajillion cents. New number, kajillion.
Yeah.
It's kind of like ka-ching, but it's kajillion. Okay, and
Chris DeSantis
really has
very
turned out
happy
to be a fabulous investment for
Yep.
Blackstone, no question about it. And of course, Hilton continues to chug along. 14th brand we talked about here. Certainly, conglomerates are in right now.
Oh, they really are, and that's the mantra I've been hearing over the last couple of years from the CEOs is you got to go big or go home kind of a deal.
That's right. You got to keep growing, and with RevPAR growth slowing down, the companies will need to look to other places to get unit growth.
Yeah.
And because there will be a time when the pipeline will slow down a little bit, so we got to grow.
Right.
Got to grow, got to grow.
Yep,
So,
and if no matter what the pipeline does, I'm sure you'll have the accurate forecast within 500
You
rooms.
bet your butt.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, the pressure's on at this point. If you're feeling like you're the CEO of IHG or the CEO of Wyndham, you're thinking, the pressure's on, you got to do something, right? And there's got to be, I know Wyndham has been buying some things in Latin America, a couple of companies down there, but it seems to me that there's some more consolidation coming.
Yeah.
No question about it.
And we're going to have to follow that story throughout the year. But, again, here at the conference, one thing really, really I thought was very downright strange, right? So I hate to bury the headline 20 minutes into our show, but we have a new president, right?
Yeah.
Mr. President Trump. And I don't want to get into politics necessarily, but he's our president, and he's a hotelier.
Yep.
And we're at a major industry conference, the center of the hotel universe, that starts 3 days after the man is inaugurated.
And no one's saying a thing.
And nobody is mentioning the guy's name.
No.
The strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. There was a general session yesterday, and of course they had a politically focused session, and they talked about Trump during that session.
Yep.
But they didn't talk about Trump at all in relation to the hotel business.
Yep.
They didn't talk about Trump in relation to what that's going to do for international travelers coming to this country. They didn't talk about the jobs issues that Trump promised in terms of being friendly towards business on labor issues. I'm having conversations with people. It's the elephant in the room. Nobody's wanting to discuss it. A few people would pull me aside and give me their honest thoughts, but only because they thought that I was politically aligned with them.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting time for sure. I think, no one is really sure exactly how it's all going to play out. I don't think a lot of people in the industry expected Trump to win. I don't think that the inevitability of some of his campaign promises is reality. I think people are kind of holding their breath, if you will. The big thing a lot of people do talk about is the corporate tax breaks they're expecting to get.
Yeah, but the other thing is, we've been following this story since the day he came down that escalator and said he was going to run. And this business has a lot of guys that are suits, that are Republicans, that are party line no matter what, right? So we're not talking about an issue, how you feel about some of the personal things that have come to light about his character. But they voted for this guy.
They did.
In huge numbers. And now I don't even see any happiness or gloating from any people that were very pro-Trump.
Well, I think everybody probably has had certain instances of, the Facebook fight, if you will. I mean, this is, I don't want to say it's a politically divided industry, okay, but clearly I think that there are more red than blue in the hotel business for sure, just like you were alluding
to be fair, in the room that we were in today, it was. I'm going to be I'm going to be speaking at the NEWH Leadership Conference in Denver on February 10th, hosting a great panel of people there to kick off their great conference. And that group is blue as they come. It's all designers and creative
small
people,
business owners,
right? So when we're talking about this, you have to think about the community that you're within in the hotel business. But in the ownership money side, it's red.
Yep. And Trump has got to obviously putting the hotel business. He's not operating that on his own today, but I think we can see that his second home is, in fact, his Trump International Hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue. Has he gone there every single day?
Yeah, I'm not following.
Pretty much. But I heard some, and I would only say hearsay, that the hotel opening at the Trump has not gone that well. and it's not meeting its projections at this point.
Well, my understanding was when they built that project, the numbers never penciled out before the first shovel was, hitting the renovation.
Very true.
Yeah,
it is not. It is not an inexpensive location. You'll have certainly a lot of challenges there with rate, and Washington, of course, has a number of new construction projects. But I think that love him or hate him, he is the president. Okay, and he does have a hotel brand that carries his name. And anybody who's got a microphone wants to say something, which is amazing on its own, Glenn. That you're right. Very few people are really outspoken on the mic, want to talk about it, but you can't. You find a new celebrity every single day who's ranting and raving about Trump.
Right.
I mean, you follow Alec Baldwin. I mean, come on. You know, it's like some funny stuff there on Saturday Night Live. I will tell you that. But the expectation, I think I said, back when we talked in December, that the stock market was probably going to hit 20,000. It's still flirting.
Yep.
It traded over 20 one day. That's it. But it's awfully close. I think it was 19,950 or what it closed at today, something to that effect.
Right.
Awfully close today. But it may very well happen here coming in the very near future. I think also, Congress appears to actually be in session and working. And I think the education secretary, is she the one that is not
The
proceeding?
one that hates children and education?
That's right.
Yes.
Yes. She's not proceeding, right? Didn't they delay the vote?
I think so,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. I've been so involved in this conference, I haven't been following regular politics.
So
this
it's a
week.
very dynamic situation, but I think at the same time, anybody with half a brain would expect that Trump is likely to profit from his hotel business.
Yes.
Is likely to profit from the fact that he became president of the United States.
Yes,
So,
I would definitely agree on that. And I don't know if he has any properties in California, but this is my very poor shift. But
Yeah.
I'm going to be in California on Thursday, March 9th, attending the Click conference. I'm really psyched about this. Our good friend Craig Sullivan is putting it on. I'm going to be hosting the kickoff panel there on Thursday, March 9th. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be on hotel investment. So ownership, debt, equity, all that real sexy stuff
Yep.
that people love
and
to
just
talk about.
California, it all clicks, right?
And
That's
it's
it.
going to be great. I would really recommend, if you're interested in it, check out clickconference.com. That's CLIconference.com, and learn all about it. It's a fun one-day conference. You're in and out. If you're flying in, you go to the Orange County Airport, you walk across the street. You don't even have to get that Uber. So
Yeah.
I hope to see you guys there. We'll have some cocktails, and maybe we'll even record a podcast live. I'm talking to Craig about that now.
I think you should, Glenn. Podcast live. That would be new for you, huh?
I think so. I think it'll be fun.
I don't think it would be fun.
Right? So join us, California Lodging Investment Conference. That's clickconference.com, CLIconference.com. Anything else that you want to add before we wrap up, Bruce?
Well, I think, this downtown market, Los Angeles, has been frothy for the past couple of years. Obviously, a lot of things to open here. So it'd be a great place to take a hotel tour. No question. The Hotel Figueroa is going to reopen soon. You have the Intercon, the Indigo. Lots of renovation, lots of new construction. And so it's a dynamic place if you're in the hotel business today. And an exciting time to be here.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really exciting. The architecture that I'm seeing that they're building looks really nice. I can't wait to see what some of the insides look like beyond the two that I had a chance to see. Bruce, you got such great real estate information. Your forecasting is on point. There's got to be some people out there that are saying, how can I get that information?
LodgingEconometrics.com. And, of course, you can follow us on LinkedIn if you like. You're certainly welcome to reach out to me, as Glenn is happy to provide you with my contact information, BFORD at LodgingEconometrics.com. Happy to answer your real estate questions.
Yes, excellent. And we should... write into the show. We can answer your real estate questions.
Maybe we should
here.
do a mailbag, Glenn.
I think that'll be fun.
Yeah,
we'll have to come up with a new song.
The next time we do a podcast, we'll have to do questions from our readership,
right,
and listenership, right? That'll be great.
So hit us up on Twitter. You got Bruce's BFINNH, BF in New Hampshire.
Yep.
That stands for, and I am at Traveling Glenn. Or send me your comments directly to Glenn at rouse.media, and we'll answer.
Don't forget the two N's.
It's true. GLENN at rouse, ROUSE.media. Never forget your two N's. Never, ever forget your two N's. Coming up next after this commercial break, I've got an exciting interview with Jagruti Panwala. She is the new Secretary of AAHOA, which means in a few years she's going to ascend to the chairmanship of AAHOA. We've had the guys, the leadership of AAHOA on before. We've learned about the history of that organization, but where's it going? And what makes you so crazy that you're going to go ahead and dedicate your life for 4 years to this organization? We talked to Jagruti all about that, what it's like balancing her business and the needs of the organization. And we also throw in, she happens to be the first female ever to serve on the board of AAHOA, which is kind of big news. But
that's groundbreaking.
But at the same time, I hate making an issue of it because it should be irrelevant.
Should be irrelevant. That sounds great, Glenn.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well,
on
thanks.
That.
So stick around, and we've got some great interviews coming up in the next few weeks. Oh, guys, I got some good ones that I'm working on behind the scenes. I think you're going to love it. And thanks for listening to the No Vacancy Podcast. We're back after this.
Have a question for your host, Glenn? Tweet him now at Traveling Glenn. No Vacancy, the hospitality industry's #1 podcast. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff from Endpoint Multimedia. You've heard me on the show give off lists of great travel tips and spots. Well, now I'm going to give you my super secret beach vacation spot. Villas Hermosas is just steps from the beautiful beach of Playa Hermosa in Costa Rica, which is close to Santa Teresa and Malpais. I've personally been going to Villas Hermosas for 7 years now, and the owners Brad and Tara treat their guests like friends, and no matter what your interests are, they'll lead you in the right direction. The reason I love this particular part of the country is that the southern Nicoya Peninsula is more untouched and raw than some of the more well-known tourist destinations of Costa Rica. But don't let that ruggedness fool you. You can be pampered as much as you'd like at Villas Hermosas, and the restaurants in town are simply amazing. So whether you're looking for true solitude, an adventure vacation with zip lining and quad tours, or a great surfing destination with super consistent waves, Villas Hermosas is my personal recommendation. Check them out, villashermosas.com, and let them know you heard about them from us. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the No Vacancy Podcast. I am, of course, still Glenn Hausman. You know this. You were just listening to the first half of the show. If you don't know who I am by now, then I feel really sorry for you. Actually, I feel sorry more for me at this point. But today I've got an exciting guest with me. It's Jagruti Panwala, and she is Secretary with AAHOA, just recently elected to the board. How are you, Jagruti?
I'm doing fantastic, Glenn, and thank you so much for spending this beautiful afternoon in Arizona with me.
Yes, I'm absolutely delighted to be getting to know you. It's about time. I really like to over time interview all of the new folks that come into the AAHOA board. It's important for me, and I want you all, if you haven't listened to the show where I speak to the current chairman, Bruce Patel, and Chip Rogers, the president, please check out that show. I'll leave a link to that in the show notes. But Jagruti, you come from a hotel background. You've got 6 hotels. Sitarama is the name of the company, and you're up in the New York, New Jersey area, my hometown. I love that. What brought you guys to the New York area?
Well, I think I want to say that most of the hoteliers' dream to build a hotel in New York.
Yeah.
But for us, it was a little bit of a situation. My brother and I were looking for a project, and we were actually looking for Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And then one of the colleague who had one of a colleague who's a really good friend of my brother's had a small land in Bronx, New York, but didn't have any money to develop the hotel. So he kind of brought us into it, and we saw it as a great opportunity because it was right next to the Yankee Stadium. So, it's amazing when we saw the lot for the first time. You could never imagine that there would be an 11-story building, which is currently right now. So we're excited about the project. It's only a 60-unit property, but it has a lot of potential, and it's next to the Yankee Stadium. So that's always exciting because it's going to be actually known as a Yankee Hotel.
Right. I think that's pretty cool, although I have to admit I'm a Mets fan, so I hope this conversation doesn't go downhill at this point. I'm a little nervous about that. But, I don't want to be presumptuous, but I'm going to guess that you were raised in the hotel industry.
I was not.
See, that's why I don't presume things.
I was not. I came to this country at age 15, and my parents and us all together came to this country without having any money. So no, I was not raised in a hotel industry at all. Actually, we owned a grocery store in the beginning and worked day and night after school. But after college, I saw an opportunity of buying my first independent hotel from one of the friends that I met, and that was my first hotel. But it was never. We had other family members in the hospital industry, but as far as myself or my dad or my close family, we were not in the hospitality.
How scary and exciting is it to come to another country at age 15?
It was scary, and when I was on the panel this morning at the Best Western for Women in Leadership, and that was the one thing that that is amazing about this country, that if you come with it's a lot of opportunity. If you work hard and you have the enough confidence and you're willing to take a risk, it's all possible. So it was definitely a challenge, but this is something that my parents has always told me since I was little, that Jagruti, anything you put your mind to it, you can do it. It doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl. The opportunities are equal, especially in this great country. So
that's just amazing to me that you came over at age 15, learned an entirely different culture, finished high school, went to college, and then got involved in the hotel business as an owner shortly thereafter. Yes?
Yes.
I find that absolutely unbelievable, because I'm thinking about when I was 22, 23, 24 years old, where I was in my life, and I didn't own anything, let alone a hotel. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, I think we were put in that position. We were in the position that we didn't have any other options. It's not like I could have sat home and done nothing. I mean, we needed to be able to survive. Owning our first independent property, we still had to borrow a lot of money from our extended family, because it wasn't that easy for us to just own a first property. And also, there was no credit, so we were not able to get loan from the bank. So we had to be a creative and do a lease to purchase option on our first hotel. So it was a risk, but I think the risk paid off, because now we have 6 hotels in our portfolio.
That's amazing. And again, I'd urge everybody to listen to the show that I did with both Chip Rogers and Bruce Patel, because we talk about how a lot of Indian American families kind of team up and loan each other money.
Yes.
Because of that. That's nice that you have that sort of support system in place that would enable you to do this. So how does that work? Do you just go, hey, Uncle so-and-so, can I borrow $50,000? How does that work?
Yeah, so my first independent property, we did borrow about $50,000 from my uncle, who actually brought us to this country and helped us get settled. And if they see the property, if they see the opportunity, yes, they will help. And that's the way the Indian families have been. I think now things have changed. Most of the people who are in the hospital industry or getting in the hospital industry are I think is more experienced. So you don't really, in my opinion, you really don't see that many people coming from outside and buying a first property. I think now it's more of
that's why I think I think this is really interesting to me, your story, because everybody that I talk to that's in the AAHOA community, they all seem to have grown up now in the hotel business. Mom and Dad came over, and they, from the earliest age, were cleaning rooms or helping with maintenance and stuff. And your story is really very different, that you kind of fell into it a little bit later in life. That's really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, when we owned our first independent hotel, we did do same thing. What most of the immigrants who come to this country which is housekeeping, the front desk, the night desk, maintenance, anything you needed to do to survive in the business and to save money. But I think most of us, and this is the same story, that most of our AAHOA members, that they all came to this country without nothing, and they started with probably working as a housekeeper at somebody else's property and started to learn the business. And once they saved enough money and borrowing money from family and friends, they got involved in a small motel, and then eventually with working hard and saving every single penny for years and years, and getting into now more of a upscale brand properties. Now you have AAHOA members, which are close to 16,000 members. 1 out of every 2 hotels in the United States are owned by AAHOA members. That's pretty amazing. It's only been 40 years that most of the Asian American hotel owners have come to this country and started in the hotel business.
To me, it's one of those stories that are really symbolic about how amazing this country can be for people that work hard, get an education, and figure out a way to find success. So how do you find success going from that 1 property to 2 to 3 to 4 to 6 now?
So the first property, as I mentioned, it was a small property, and then we saved money My husband and I were doing 24-hour front desk and a night desk, the housekeeping, everything. So we saved money, and then we bought our second property, which was only about 5 miles away from the area. We bought our first property, we saw an opportunity, and we did exactly the same deal, because even after saving that money, we still didn't have a lot of money. So we had to do lease to purchase option on the second property also.
What does that mean for folks that are listening that don't understand?
So what that means is that for somebody who's coming new to the country and can't really get a loan from the bank, you can structure a loan that you're leasing the property, just like maybe you might be leasing a house or leasing an apartment building or a room or whatever it is. You're leasing it for 5 years. So the only thing you're doing is putting down the lease payments every single month, and then you put in a contract that after 5 years later, this is the price I'm going to pay to purchase it at that time. So at that time, you hope that you have enough credits built up,
right,
and you're more recognized with the bank, that they'll be able to loan you the money.
Right, because at that point you have a track record and you've established yourself.
Right.
That's very interesting. You know, whenever I have conversations with people like you, I feel like I should have gotten into the hotel business instead of just talking about the hotel business. So interesting and fascinating to me. But isn't it tougher building hotels in the New York, New Jersey area? Why not move out to Wyoming and do it there?
Well, the reason we chose the New York project, because there was an opportunity. We were not out in New York looking for the project, but I think when you see an opportunity as a hotel owner, especially if it's a good location, then why not? I mean, I would build a hotel anywhere in the country, but of course, being in a tri-state area, being in Pennsylvania, I'm so close to New York and New Jersey, so my primary focus of doing any projects are in PA, New York, and New Jersey right now.
Where are you based in Pennsylvania?
Outside Philadelphia in Warminster.
Ah, all right. My wife is from Philadelphia, so
okay.
I know that area pretty well. I like that area a lot. It's kind of like New York light, you know. Like if you can't handle the stress of New York, go to Philadelphia. Yeah. It's nicer, it's cleaner.
Yeah, my husband and I both love New York City, so whenever we want to get away for a weekend, a night, just a great place to go have dinner. So.
Do you? This is probably going to be the most important question you're ever going to be asked.
Wow.
Geno's or Pat's for steak sandwiches? I know, it's a Sophie's choice of lunch meats.
I say Pat's.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. That's good to know. Yeah. I like it. I'm keeping a tally with these things. All right. But so tell me a little bit about what made you decide to get involved in AAHOA? And let me just tee it up by saying you've just been elected last spring, Secretary of AAHOA. Eventually, you'll be the chairman of AAHOA. The organization works each year. You move up to a different position until you achieve the chairmanship. And I do feel I have to say you are the first female to be in that business. But again, I don't want that to be the focus of our conversation, but I can't not mention it. What made you go this direction, particularly because there was no woman before you in that role?
Yeah, and this is, Glenn, I'll be very honest with you. I never ran for this election based on my gender. Neither I think I won the election. I don't think you should. And neither I think I won the election because of my gender.
That would be insulting.
Yeah, so I think that's something that I'm honored that I'm in the position that another woman can come up and say, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it. But that's really not the primary focus for me and has never been a primary focus. It shouldn't be,
and I think it's a little weird for me to be talking to you about this because, like I said, it does feel like it's pandering in a way because it's a weird news story. But I think here in America, it doesn't really matter anymore. But yet you can't not acknowledge it in some ways as well. So that must be a weird position that you're in.
Glenn, I hope that 10 years or 15 years down the road, when a woman wins an election, whether it's for AAHOA or any other organization, it's not a news anymore.
I don't think it is really. It's only news because it hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
Not that it's a big deal.
Right.
Right? Like, I don't see it as a big deal as well. I mean, my generation, it never even occurred to me that there was a historical disparity between the man and the woman. That was just really silly. I grew up having female bosses for a lot of my life, and I never thought anything different. So, again, the whole conversation just seems weird. But, again, you are, because there hasn't necessarily been someone in that position before, you are taking more of a leap of faith than an average guy that's just going into it, right?
Right, absolutely. So, being a hotel owner, myself and a lot of members is it's so natural to be, first of all, become an AAHOA member. I mean, because AAHOA is the voice of America's hotel owners. So if you're a hotel owner, how can you not be an AAHOA member? The reason I decided to join as an active board member is when I saw some of the regional meetings and town hall meetings that I was attending, and I saw some of the things that I say, you know what, it's something that I can help the organization with on the legislative side, which is something that I'm very passionate about. 2 years ago, I testified in front of the United States Congress opposing joint employer, which affects me as a hotel owner, which affects brands such as Best Western, Choice, Wyndham in a very negative way.
Could you explain the joint employer thing for our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. So, currently, I'm a hotel owner. I can hire the employees that I want. I have the relationship with them. I set the wages for them. I set the hours for them and everything. With the new law and regulations, what joint employer does is pretty much puts myself and the brand. So right now, I only pay like a franchise fees to a specific brand. So if I have a hotel with the Best Western, I'm paying them franchise fees, but they have nothing to do with my employees. With these new regulations, they're trying to, NLRB is trying to unionize the whole thing.
Right,
so
and that's a National Labor Relations Board.
It is a National Relations Board. So Marriott has seen this lawsuit coming up if the employee has something that going to happen, instead of just coming directly to me, now they're going straight to the brands. So it just become, as an owner, I have taken all the risk as far as the purchasing the property, putting myself in a debt, taking all the obligations, and all of a sudden I have, instead of a partner, I have a joint employer. I only had the brands never took any responsibility or any liability. Right. With a joint employer, it kind of makes, as an owner, I feel like I lose my the individuality and my entrepreneurship, that what I came to this country and have accomplished, and most of our members have done same exact thing. So was that the predominant reason why you decided to get involved and join the board, or are there others too? No, there were many other reasons, but this was one of my passionate, this is one of the areas that I'm really passionate about. Is 20 years ago, we were not really focused on all the state and local and national laws that are affecting us as a hotel owners. But right now, more than ever, every single day you hear in news that this law's coming up in your state, or this law's coming up in a local county levels or a national level. And I think as a hotel owners, if we don't speak up and we don't raise our voice and we don't go to Washington, D.C. and talk to your congressman and Congress, any representative, I think it's already affecting our bottom line, but I think it's going to be a big issue. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to be in a front line in AAHOA, because I realized how all these laws and regulations are affecting us as hotel owners, and I needed to be in front line to make sure our voices are heard. What do you hope to achieve during your tenure with the AAHOA board? I think for me, the goals and the platforms can change as the situation arise. I can sit here and give you 5 things that I want to accomplish. Yes. But that could change in 2 years. Something happens next year, and then the whole goal changes. So only thing I know, I hope that me being here opens up a lot of door for a lot of young people, saying that AAHOA has really moved in the right direction in the last 10 years, and there is a available space for all the young professionals, whether you're men or women. And I also hope that I leave a legacy by leaving AAHOA in a better place when I'm done with my chairmanship. Again, the platforms will change, the things will change, and we'll all have to change with it. I'll say that to anybody in the AAHOA board. What are you thinking? It takes up so much of your time. Are you crazy? You have a business to run. I know. We travel over 200 days a year. That's insane. It's a commitment. Yeah. It's and somebody like me with having hotels, I have my own financial planning firm. I have a family, and then AAHOA. So I juggle. Do you have children? I do. I have 2 children. I have a 12-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. Hey, I've got 12-year-old boys. Maybe we should have them get together on the next podcast. Well, she's more of a firecracker than I am. So, but yeah, it's all about juggling, and I always tell anybody that if you really enjoy what you do, then I think it's possible. You just gotta really, whether you're a man or a woman, you gotta just manage your time.
Right. That doesn't really. What matters is how much of a commitment you have to make and the sacrifices that you and your family have to make in order for you to live this out, because it's something that's bigger than you.
Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting that you would make such a commitment, and it's for a lot of years.
Yeah, it's for 4 years. So when you get elected as a secretary, next year you move to the treasurer, and then you move to the vice chairman, then the chairman of the association. So it is a commitment, but each of us as officers, with all my fellow officers, and the reason they do it because they love this association, and we understand the impact we're making for the hospitality industry. So it's all worth it at the end.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's not about the fame, because that goes over very quickly when you're traveling 200 days a year.
It's
and
exhausting.
sleeping in a hotel rooms. That's really not. But you really enjoyed and you do have many members who are appreciative of all the work and sacrificing the officers and the board members are making. So
yeah, that's really fascinating to me. I'm really impressed that anybody would take on such a commitment, because I travel 100 plus nights a year already, and my family vacillates between hating me and forgetting who I am. I can't imagine what it would be like doubling that. That's pretty wild stuff. So for folks that are coming up in the hospitality industry, what advice would you give to them to find success?
Attending conferences is very, very, very important. Making sure you're involved in an organization that is close to your heart, and it's going to affect your business. So if you're a hotel owner, there is no reason why you're not an AAHOA member. If you have a brands, make sure that you are attending the brands conferences, networking with other people, building relationship. And I think that's huge. I mean, you meet people, you build relationship, you learn from them, you always listen what they're saying. That's what I would advise, and ultimately, if this is something for you, then joining organizations and running for the leadership position, it's very important. But I think you start with the networking and make sure that you're getting involved, because because you close your eyes and say, the world will move on without me, it doesn't mean that things are not happening.
Right.
Things are changing rapidly. So
does it feel good to influence change?
I do. I feel good. I feel good. The thing is, I know that my daughter and we're very close from very beginning, and especially after my position, I really value my time. And if there is anybody I'm influencing right now, in a really good level, is I would say my daughter, because my daughter and I share all the stories about what I'm doing outside, what I'm doing at AAHOA, and she always talks about how she wants to do same thing when she's older. So
that's wonderful. That's awesome.
For me, that's more than anything else I can ask for.
Right. And that's what it really comes down to at the end of the day is family, right?
Absolutely.
And I just love how the family supports you, got you involved in the business, and eventually I'm sure you'll pay it forward to the next generation of folks that come over here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And my husband is, and I tell people all the time, I mean, I married an angel. Because nobody would put up with the amount of time that I stay away from the family, but he's truly supported me with everything. So I think, and again, that's for everybody. Even when I talk to my fellow officers, they say same thing, that without their wife's support, it just would be a very difficult task. Yeah. Because somebody has to be home to take care of the kids and the businesses.
Yeah, it really is a team effort.
It is.
And that's one of the things I like about the Indian American community is the partnership behind the scenes, that the spouse is always there to take care of that business and to help build it. You don't see that in a lot of other cultures, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I would agree to that. I think it is. I see that actually in a lot of different cultures too. But yes, the Indian culture is a little bit more when it comes to family, supporting each other. Yeah, they're always there.
Anything else that you want to bestow upon all the listeners out there?
No, I think each of us has a passion about something. That I guarantee you. But I think some of us are just too comfortable, or too afraid to take a chance or take a risk of
Right.
following your passion. So only advice I say that if you're comfortable and if you're happy with everything you're doing in life, great, don't change it. But if you see an opportunity and you say, hey, this is something that I want to go after, then you should do it.
I say don't get too comfortable. I say comfort is like death because, then you won't grow as an individual. And, my life has been a pattern of starting something new, getting freaked out that I'll fail at it, figuring it out, enjoying it for a while, then getting a little complacent and soft. And then you need to start the cycle all over again. And you started a big cycle now that'll take you through the next 4 years. And congratulate you and wish you the best of luck as you grow in the job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I want to thank everyone for listening. If you want to learn more about AAHOA, how can they find out, Jagruti?
Go to AAHOA.com.
There you go. That's the marvel of the internet, AAHOA.com. Or, drop me a line at glenn@rouse.media, and I'll steer you in the right direction. I think these guys are great. They're interesting, fascinating, and I had a really good time talking to you, Jagruti.
Thank you so much, Glenn.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to No Vacancy, the hospitality industry's #1 podcast, with your host, Glenn Hausman, online at rouse.media, on Twitter at Traveling Glenn, and on Facebook.com/Glenn.Hausman. We'll catch you next time.